The worst part about watching Fuller House is that now Netflix keeps recommending crap to me. I'm not gonna watch Last Man Standing. I live in a home improvement house, thank you. So I didn't like the first season of Fuller House, which why would I? I wasn't a fan of the original series. And I kinda screwed myself by doing a video on it, so now I'm basically obligated to do a video on season 2. That's right, Fuller House has 2 seasons. And Bunheads only had 1. That makes me sad. So now it's time to cheer myself up by binge watching every episode of Fuller House Season 2. To catch you up on the previous season, DJ had to choose between Steve, her stalker ex-boyfriend from high school, and the handsome, charismatic Matt. And I do mean stalker, as in he follows them around, spies on them, even tries to attack Matt. Yeah, some fucking choice. This time around though, DJ finally chooses, but oh no, Matt and Steve have girlfriends! It'd be much more clever if it turned out they were dating each other. Steve is now going out with CJ, who looks and acts sorta like DJ to the point to where they even use the same puns. Yeah, that's normal. If you're not caught up on season 1, though, annoying Max shows up to provide exposition to characters who were fucking there. Fernando, Kimmie's ex-husband / current boyfriend who now lives with them, he says to Max, "I missed you least of all." Yeah. There may be some drama, though, as Kimmie Gibbler's younger brother Jimmy, aka Diet Ashton Kutcher, has a crush on Stephanie. Oh, what? Ain't that a pickle? Bushwhacked! This episode is 6 minutes shorter than the previous episode, probably because in the season premiere, the fucking audience had to woo for 5 seconds every time a character appeared. This is the most easily entertained audience. They actually, a kid picking up a toy and a dog eating. There's now 2 stalkers this season because Jimmy Gibbler has his RV parked outside the house and won't leave until Stephanie agrees to go out with him. And everyone else finds this adorable. This show's idea of a romantic movie is fear. Episode 2 does do something I never thought I would see in the Full House universe, a pixelated nutsack. So then it has something in common with its own porno spoof. I did get a little sad here, though, because Alan Thicke turns up in this episode as DJ's blind date, and I really hope this wasn't his last project. And what the fuck, he was Kirk Cameron's dad on Growing Pains, and now he's dating his son's sister? There is a part I laughed at, though. It's when the oldest kid, Jackson, destroys Max's Lego set. Fuck that kid. If you need an example of this show, obviously being written by old people, it's got the classic scene where there's a group of kids on the couch sitting there texting and saying nothing, and then an adult comes in the room and says, "Don't you ever actually talk to each other?" I'm really worried about this audience, though. DJ says that she wants to go see her favorite play, and then Stephanie says, "Oh, we're not seeing Wicked again," and then the audience laughs. How is that a joke? They woo at Kimmie Gibbler's daughter, I can't remember her fucking name. They woo whenever she has her first kiss, and then they woo again later when she explains that scene to another person. Either this audience is coached, or they're suffering Stockholm Syndrome. But instead of going to a play, Stephanie and DJ decide to crash an Irish wedding. You can tell it's Irish because they start singing "Oh Danny Boy," "Everything is Green," they begin river dancing, and there's leprechaun hats in the bushes. DJ uses the name Sinead O'Connor to get in, because I'm sure no one there knows who that is. And annoying Max appears to be sassier this season, almost like he's a miniature version of Jack from Will and Grace. And I didn't even like that character, so I sure as shit don't like him in kid form. The little shit acts like he's smarter than everyone else, yet when he has to water the plants, he does so with a bucket of his own used bubble bath water. Idiot. This is the Halloween episode. Makes sense to have a seasonal episode on a show you're supposed to binge watch. Kimmie and Fernando dress as Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, and they even do a whole Lucy and Desi routine, because that's much easier than just pissing on their graves. Oldest son Jackson decides to skip the Halloween party, and instead he goes to the best haunted house ever. No, seriously, it has amazing post-production lightning effects. But Jimmy and Stephanie teach Jackson a lesson by dressing up as zombies and telling him that he should have stayed home with his family. What the fuck? They're not home either. I mentioned Home Improvement earlier, which was kind of appropriate because this episode has a smug little kid who's saying douchey things about not being scared by the family's Halloween decorations, but then at the end he actually does get scared when Max pretends to be a severed head on a dinner plate. They did that same plot and resolution on an episode of Home Improvement. I should just be watching Home Improvement right now. You know you're in for a good time when the episode opens with Max walking indoors with a wagon full of chickens. This plays into the plot. He tosses a corn cob to the dog, who swallows it and has to go in for surgery. So Max is annoying, and he almost killed the dog. There's another special guest this time around, though. It's Bruno from Dancing with the Stars. I had to pause the episode to find out who that was. What a shock. Fuller House and Dancing with the Stars have the same audience. Speaking of audience, this studio audience gasped at a sight of a chicken walking and a dog fetching, as if they'd never seen that before. This show is why we are all going to get the 2017 that we deserve. Oh, and 5 episodes in, and Max has yet to say his terrible catchphrase from season 1, "Holy chalupas!" And I still hate him. It's the Thanksgiving episode. It's like it was just Halloween an hour ago. I was originally thinking that I wish some of the original cast would come back, but then Bob Saget walked in dressed like a white rapper and saying shit like, "What up, my peeps? What's crack-a-lackin'?" Uncle Joey arrives with 4 annoying kids who tear shit up and spout out more catchphrases. This show needs more annoying kids like the world needs more crack. And John Stamos is nearing his 30th anniversary of being too good for this shit. This is one of the worst episodes of this show. Oh, I almost forgot. DJ is now officially dating Matt, which makes Stalker Steve super jealous, to the point to where he accidentally calls his girlfriend DJ several times. That's not normal! Max still has his chickens and his outdoor farm, because that's a story arc that needed to carry over multiple episodes. Fans of the original series will be super excited for this episode. The girls' band Girl Talk gets back together. They even flash back to a Girl Talk episode because it's important to show you that this universe was always shitty. Need more jokes written by old people? DJ is playing the drums and does so by color coordinating them with her rock band drums. Otherwise, she won't know how to play. That's how that works. And there's some subplot about Gibbler's daughter Ramona, I remembered her name, being mad because an embarrassing video got put online. But she really has nothing to be upset about because the video making fun of her has 0 likes and a shit ton of dislikes. And there's a douchey teenager named Popco, cause that's a name. But bad influence Gia is back to play in Girl Talk. She tempts DJ and Stephanie with a vape, and it makes the audience go, ooh. Yeah, they're almost 40. No joke, I took a break in this episode to pay the garbage bill because trash was more appealing to me. The plot line with Max and his organic farm wraps up when he loses the science fair. So that was worth the 3-episode arc. Here's an episode that reminds you that there are better things you could be watching because it actually starts shilling for Netflix about halfway through. A character says, "Isn't TV without commercials great? I'd pay a monthly subscription for something like that." Yes, thank you for reminding me that Netflix put this out, so I can cancel my membership. Also, I know what Netflix is. What the fuck do you think I'm watching it on? And no, I'm not really gonna cancel my membership. They have Gilmore Girls and Friends. This episode features the line, "Nice overalls, oshkosh bagosh," and then has the balls to later on say, "You're pandering to the lowest common denominator." It features Stephanie's music video, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and at one point replaces the footage with a dog and a baby. This audience is why shitty baby videos always won on America's Funniest Home Videos. This episode begins with a baby jamming his fists on a toy piano. Not helping my headache! Jesse, Joey, Danny, and Becky return in this episode, and the last time we saw Joey, they told him he and his family could stay there for a while. That was never addressed again, but thank God we got the 3-episode resolution of Max's organic farm. Like in the first season, there's some meta humor. There's a part here where DJ says, "I keep hearing this woo in my head," and then the audience goes, "Woo!" So, okay, maybe there isn't really a live studio audience. Maybe they're just all crazy. That would make sense. There's a part in this episode where they all get stuck in a jail cell on a TV set for a show called Police Mom, as you do, and then at the end of the episode they realize they can escape the cell because it doesn't actually have a ceiling on it. Idiots! And now they're dragging the new kids on the block to hell with them. The last episode had Phil Morris, who I mostly know as Jackie Childs from Seinfeld. Stop dragging people down on your ship! They want to recruit the new kids on the block for DJ's birthday, so Stephanie and Kimmie kidnap them and drive them to the Tanner house. Do you remember the movie Heartbreak Hotel where David Keith plays Elvis and he's kidnapped to perform for Charlie Schlauter's mom? That was a weird one. This is really good for Stephanie's music career. She's really taking off after that dog baby music video went viral. Careful there, Fuller House. I'm still not over the breakup of Girl Talk. Best part of this episode, though, Donnie Wahlberg is literally FaceTime in to help sing Happy Birthday, and he clearly doesn't give a shit. It's okay though, they make sure to tell us the time and network that you can catch all new episodes of Blue Bloods. It's DJ and Kimmie's high school reunion, only someone needs to do their homework because the yearbook they're looking at references NSYNC in a period of time before they made their first public appearance. Yeah, I had to look that up, but for a show that's a product of the worst parts of the 90s, it really should get its 90s trivia right. So we've had Alan Thicke, Phil Morris, the New Kids on the Block, and this episode has Hal Sparks. One quick rewrite and this could be a Queer as Folk crossover. This one's got a lot of callbacks, and since I wasn't a fan of the original series, it's kind of like going to a high school reunion of a school that you didn't go to and watching people reminisce about shit that you have no idea what they're talking about. Oh, and there's a subplot where Jackson is upset because he's getting bad grades, so the family gives him his own awards ceremony. Makes sense. This whole series is a participation award. With 2 episodes left, they appear to be bringing back the whole Matt, DJ, Steve love triangle. As if I'm supposed to forget how much of a creep Steve is. That's one notch worse than Crystal from Dear Santa, but not as bad as Clay Walsh from Old Fashioned. That's still not someone you should be dating. If I were this actor, I'd be pissed about what they did to my character. DJ raps in this. No. And you thought the Christmas season was over, but when it's a binge-watching series, it could be Christmas anytime. Love is in the air this Christmas. They all go see the Nutcracker, and you best believe there's a nutshot joke. Max falls in love with CJ's daughter Rose, and their favorite movie is Titanic. Get it? The girl's name is Rose, and Max gives her a necklace, and the girl is like, "Ooh, just like the one from Titanic. I sure am glad they keep mentioning the movie's name, otherwise I wouldn't know what they're referencing." And in the script was written by Old People Department, we have the line, "Why tell a whole story? That's what emojis are for." For the kids. When Max falls in love with Rose, it does the whole slow motion shot with the wind blowing hair and the doo 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 doo. Although this season, Max suddenly has a weird smoker's voice, as if he's now a child version of Harvey Fierstein. But the weirdest thing in this episode is that the dog falls in love with CJ's bunny rabbit. It does the same love music and the slow motion wind blowing shot, only you can hear the dog's thoughts, and he says, "Yeah, that's right, I'm in love with you, baby." So... tequila? If the dog talked this entire series, I would recommend it. And relax, audience. Stephanie and Jimmy have finally said I love you to each other, even though they talked about their love several episodes ago. It's the last episode coming up, so I can't wait to see how they wrap up nothing happening. Thank Christ. The barely love triangle is kinda sorta wrapped up. Steve is nervous to propose to CJ, so DJ proposes to her for him, 'cause that's not weird. But it turns out that even though she's dating Matt, she was going to choose Steve at the beginning of the season, because she's an idiot. For a show that's all about lessons, it sure does give out some bad ones. Yes, Joey, Jesse, Danny, and Becky come back this episode, so while the jokes may still suck, at least the timing is better. Seriously, Joey holding up a beaver puppet and saying, "Here's something I would not miss," is no better than anything else in Fuller House. Let's give it to Max though. He went this whole season without saying holy chalupas. And I still hate him. A subplot in this episode has Jackson trying to ditch Max at the New Year's Eve party. Good, just throw the little fucker out the window. Max's girlfriend actually tells him that he practices the thug life. Max is about as street as Sheldon Cooper. So what's better, season 1 or season 2? Season 1 had a bit more of an arc to it, with DJ and her family moving back into the house. Plus, there was a bigger emphasis on the love triangle, and as bad as it was a plot. Season 2 was easier to get through though, because at least I didn't watch it alone like I did the first season. The real hero of this night is my girlfriend, who watched this entire season with me. And when she asked me questions about what happened in the first season, I hated the fact that I knew all of the answers. To show you how bad this is, she sat through Last Ounce of Courage, The Magic Christmas Tree, and Dear Santa, and this is what she was dreading the most. But honestly, she gave this series the best review when she said, "This season is like driving from here to Virginia. It's really, really, really long, and the hardest part is the final stretch." Look, what can I say? This show wasn't made for me. But I will say, this show is impossible to disappoint. Whether you go into it thinking it's gonna bring back memories, or if you think it's going to completely suck, it will meet whatever expectation you have of it. Nothing more, nothing less. This show sucks.